So in today's video, I want to talk about another gaming franchise that I happen to be a really big fan of, and I've also talked about other franchises on this channel that didn't really get as much attention, and I really wish they did. And the series that I'm referring to when I say that, it's like Banjo-Kazooie, for example, and Kid Icarus. I made videos talking about them. If you guys want to check those out, make sure to do so. They are on the channel if you want to check them out, see what I have to say on those series. But the series that I want to talk about today that I'm honestly like a really big fan of, and I really wish they just did something with this series again, is the Rayman series. And I'm going to tell you guys a little story first, like how I got into the Rayman series, and then I'll go more in depth with what is going on with Rayman, because at this point we really don't know what's going on with the series at this point. But getting to my story, so I originally got into the Rayman series from a Rayman spin-off game, and it was actually a game that my mother gave me called Rayman Math. The whole premise of that game is that you play as Rayman, you go through each level, and you get questions asked, like, okay, what's 2 plus 2? And then you just stand there and you're like, okay, you see 4, 6, 8, 10. And then you just walk over and you just jump on the platform to the answer. So if the question's asking you what's 2 plus 2, you go to the platform where it says 4, and then you go through that area, and then you progress through the next stage of that level. So that's pretty much how I got introduced to the franchise. And it was actually a really fun game, and I'm sure my mom got me that because obviously as a kid, I'm first starting off school, and I definitely remember playing this game in elementary school, and that's around the time where you're learning about math, like, okay, what's 2 plus 2, what's 4 plus 4, what's 4 plus 2, stuff like that. So I definitely understand why she got me a game like that, and hey, you got me into Rayman that way, and it was also a really fun game overall. So thank you, Mom, for introducing me to the Rayman franchise. I honestly have to thank her for getting me into a lot of things that I talk about on the channel. So big shout out to my mom if she ever stumbles across this video. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into the Rayman franchise. But the other games that like I started getting fully into Rayman again was definitely the Rayman Origins game and also the Rayman Legends game. And those pretty much took Rayman in a different direction. Obviously it was a new look because it's modern technology around that time, but with those games, they were platformers and they were really fun and they were very popular at their time. And if you look up videos on YouTube, or if you just look at people's like thoughts and reactions on like when this game was announced and just seeing people play these games, they had a lot of fun. So my question is, since that game came out in 2013, because Rayman Legends is a part of the mainline Rayman games and that came out in 2013, where is the follow-up? What are we doing with Rayman at this point? Because as of today, it is around 11 years since we had a Rayman game. So we have not had a mainline Rayman game ever since, not even a spin-off. And I'm not going to really count, oh, well, this game was ported to the Nintendo Switch. It's still the same game and it came out in 2013. So we haven't really had any new game when it comes to Rayman for over 11 years. And that's really saying something. So it makes me think, okay, what is Ubisoft planning to do with this character? Because I'm going to bring up something that I brought up in my Banjo-Kazooie video, where I was talking about how if you really wanted to use this franchise as like a platformer that you can make money with your company, kind of like how Nintendo does with Mario and other franchises under their belt, Ubisoft can honestly put out another Rayman game, and if they want to make it similar to Origins and Legends, so be it. If they want to add some new things, maybe they took some inspiration from Mario Odyssey, they wanted to make it more 3D instead of being like a 2D game, then they could do something like that if they really want to. And I feel like it could honestly help them if they want to branch out instead of just having like Assassin's Creed and all these other games all the time. If they want to have that platformer, like that little mascot where they're like, okay, here's a new Rayman game, oh my god, I'm so excited, like holy shit. Like whenever you see a new Mario game announced, people are hyped as hell. I mean, with that whole rumored 3D Mario game that's supposed to be open world, I'm hype as shit for that because I love Mario and it's a fun game. So Ubisoft could definitely gain some sort of attraction like that if they really wanted to push Rayman again. And one of the things I feel like hurt Rayman, and I could be wrong when I say this, but this is at least how I feel, with maybe this is why they don't put as much attention to Rayman anymore. I was thinking, could it be the Rabbids that was introduced? Because I remember when the Rabbids were first introduced, and I have like those old Game Informer magazines where it showed off the Rabbids for the very first time. I remember those games being Rayman hunting the Rabbids, and then from there the Rabbids practically became their own thing. They became so popular, and now you have the Mario and Rabbids crossover game that has done very well, and a lot of people enjoy playing those games. And then you also have a recent game that came out for it, like a sequel to the original Mario and Rabbids game, which is called Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which I will bring up. Yes, Rayman was shown in that game, and yes, you were able to see him again, and a lot of people were excited about that, which I will talk a little bit more of what that could possibly mean with the future of Rayman moving forward. But getting back on track, could the Rabbids have possibly take the spotlight that Rayman had because maybe people cared about them a little bit more? That's just my thoughts on it. Maybe that's a possibility. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I personally feel like it. And then it's not me like throwing any hate towards the Rabbids, because I have nothing against the Rabbids, but could that potentially be a possibility? You never know. That might be something to look into. And like I mentioned, yes, Rayman was recently shown in the Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope DLC. So that makes me think, okay, since Ubisoft is acknowledging the existence of Rayman again, which is awesome, Rayman's actually still alive and he's still kicking, so it's nice to actually see him again in a game, even though it's part of a DLC or whatever. At least he's acknowledged. But could this possibly mean that maybe we're gonna get something with Rayman again in the future? I'm hoping and I'm praying, because I just want to see the guy come back. He's just so fun. Like, if you guys played the Rayman games, one of the things that I love about Rayman the most, besides him just jumping up in the air and using his hair as like a little helicopter, and he's just like gliding throughout like each platform that he like jumps to in order to get there, especially if he's like going from a high place and he's like gliding down to reach his next destination. Besides that being one of the things I love about Rayman, because that's just such a really cool gimmick with him. One of the other things I really like is when he just winds up his arm and he just extends it and throws it at you like he's trying to punch an enemy or something. Like, I just love how unique of a character Rayman is, because Rayman just looks like a really silly character. He's pretty much a character with no limbs. Like, you just see a floating head, you see a body, and then you just see floating arms. There's no limbs. Like, you don't see any arms, you don't see any legs, you just see hands and feet, and you just see his body right there. That's practically all you see with Rayman. And then he just has his big old nose, and then he has his hair and his little gimmicks that he has in this game, as I mentioned, with the wind-up punch and a little helicopter hair, the little propeller that he has. I just feel like you can get so much out of this character, because this character is just so lovable, at least to me. And I just feel like you could just get so much more out of this character, and that's why I'm hoping, like, okay, since he was shown off in the Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope DLC, I'm really hoping this is Ubisoft saying, okay, we see that a lot of people really wanted to see us bring Rayman back again. We still have the rights to the character, and we brought him back into this DLC for this game. Okay, we see the attention that he got when he was revealed in that trailer. A lot of people got excited. A lot of people are speculating what the future could be with this character. Could we potentially see him back for another game? That's what I'm hoping that leads to, because seeing the reaction from the fans of how excited they got, could we potentially see something from Rayman again? Because that's something I would definitely love, because I miss Rayman. But I really want to see like how Rayman would fit with all of this new technology that we have now with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, and also the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2 console and on PC, because obviously PCs are just another thing in itself. That's another topic for another video. But I just really want to see Rayman fit in the world with all of this technology that we have at gaming right now. Like, it would just be so cool, and I would love to see Rayman just showcase himself in another game. I just miss seeing the guy, and I really want to know, what are they currently doing with this IP? Because now that I think about it, it's like almost reminds me of like that Toy Story meme, where you see that Toy Story meme with Andy holding Buzz and then he drops Woody, where it's like, okay, I have a new toy here, I don't want to play with you anymore. Like, Ubisoft has all these other IPs that they have, and then you have Rayman as that Woody doll where Andy's just dropping that on the floor, like, okay, I don't want to play with you anymore. Like, that's honestly how this reminds me of. It's like, okay, we had our fun time with Rayman, let's move on to something else, which could potentially be what they're thinking. Maybe they don't really see anything in the character anymore and they don't really want to put any time and effort into it because maybe they think it's not going to really gather any attention from people. If they decide to put out a game like that, they're like, oh, people don't really care about this, but obviously people are demanding it. People really want to see something again. So I'm honestly hoping and praying that sometime down the line, Rayman gets more love, because he definitely deserves to get another game. He definitely deserves to get more recognition. I mean, that's why I was so happy when Banjo was shown off in Smash. Even though Banjo hasn't had a new game in years, at least Nintendo and Microsoft came to an agreement. They're like, okay, the fans really love and respect this character. Let's bring him into Smash to celebrate the world of gaming. And that made me really happy to see that. So like, even if it's like the smallest thing, which could also be reference to what we saw with him being included in the Sparks of Hope DLC, just getting Rayman back and having people slap a smile on their face, could we potentially see something more? Like, that's something you could always think about in your head, like, okay, could this potentially lead to something? Could it not? We'll just have to wait and see what the future holds in store for Rayman, because I'm hoping it's a good future, because I really want to see more from this character sometime down the road if Ubisoft ever decides to make any sort of involvement with Rayman again. But other than that, that's honestly what I have to really say for this video. So I'm curious to hear what your guys' thoughts are on like how you guys feel about Rayman. How do you guys feel about the franchise overall? Do you guys agree with me that you guys want to see another Rayman game? And if we end up getting another Rayman game in the future, what sort of game do you want to see with Rayman? Let me know all your thoughts on that in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed the content that I provided you today, make sure to like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. And if you guys want to follow me on my social media to keep up to date with me, if I'm not posting a video on YouTube, make sure to follow me on my Twitter and my Instagram. That is located in the description below. And also, if you want to be notified whenever I upload a new video on the channel for the first time, make sure to click on that bell, because I realize the YouTube system's funny, like I always say, so you never know when a video uploads, because YouTube is just in a whole nother world. So make sure to click on that bell. Other than that, I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day, wherever you guys may be, if it's a daytime, the nighttime, or evening. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As always, peace out, and like I said, have a fantastic day.